Zitten doen?
Ja.
Oké.
Nee.
Ja, dat is goed.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Royal Netherlands Football Association, I'd like to welcome you all for a press conference with the men beside me. First, His Royal Highness Prince Ali, and on my right here, Mr. Michael van Praag. Ik heet jullie allemaal van harte welkom op deze bijeenkomst van de KNVB, persconferentie van Prins Ali en Michael van Praag. Zij houden allebei een speech. Michael doet dat als eerste en doet dat ook zittend. Daarna is Prins Ali aan de beurt en daarna kunnen jullie vragen stellen. Tot zover. Ik zou zeggen, Michael, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will conduct my speech in English because there is foreign media, but at the first place, because Prince Ali doesn't speak Dutch, and he is our honored guest tonight, together with his sister, Princess Haya, who is also somewhere in the room. She's over there. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming to Holland all the way from Dubai today. Well, friends, the last few months have been an absolutely accelerating experience for me. And I'm profoundly grateful for being granted the opportunity to speak to so many heads of football associations about our wonderful sport, to visit so many congresses of football federations, so many different countries with so many different needs. But one thing stood out. One thing was agreed upon in every corner of the world. FIFA needs to change. My motivation to run for the presidency was never because I wanted to change functions. I am perfectly happy where I am right now. But I felt, and still feel, that FIFA needs to do better. And that it is impossible that FIFA moves forward with its current leadership. This is why I decided to challenge Mr. Blatter. We need change in governance, in leadership, and in the culture of FIFA. We need to embrace criticism as an encouragement to be better. We need to be transparent and answer to the highest ethical standards. We need to get back to normal, to serve the sport and the member states instead of ourselves. You know the proposals that I have made to accomplish these things, as I'm sure that you have studied the programs of my fellow challengers. As several media already reported, and hats off to those journalists, the three of us have sat down to discuss the remainder of the campaign. This campaign was always about the need to bring football forward and improve FIFA. And it still is. This is why the three of us sat down to discuss our chances. I have the support of many European countries and many more from all over the world, as we all do. So we decided to put our cards on the table, because we also concluded that we believe, as do practically all key players in the world, that one single candidate would have a bigger chance to win the election. Prince Ali Bin Al-Hussein convincingly demonstrated that at this moment in time, he is the candidate who has the biggest chance to challenge Sepp Blatter. So, I offered Prince Ali Bin Al-Hussein that I was willing to withdraw my candidacy if he was willing to adopt some of the key elements of my program. I do believe that he is the one candidate who has the largest chance to mobilize enough votes to beat Mr. Blatter. But I also stand for my program. So I had to ensure that even if I decided not to run, the program for which I stand would find its way into the program of the final running candidate. His Royal Highness responded enthusiastically and embraced proposals such as the President Board. This means that the future President of FIFA has less power to decide unilaterally, and important decisions will be taken in cooperation with the presidents of the confederations. Also, the Prince gave his support to my proposals to include human rights in the bidding procedure for future World Cups, and he promised to actively combat discrimination of ethnic and sexual minorities. Finally, the Prince also agreed to limit the maximum amount of presidency terms to 2 and to quadruple the yearly allowance to member states. As I already said, this campaign never was about me finding another job. I'm perfectly happy with my current position. It was about improving the sport. I see this move in the campaign as the next step in the battle for a better FIFA. Since the start of this campaign, I have stressed that my motivation to run for president was to prepare FIFA for the next generation. They deserve a fair, modern, and better FIFA. After speaking to my team and my board within the Royal Netherlands Football Associations, several conversations with the Prince, and the negotiations about our programs, I believe that the next generation is already prepared and ready to take over. And I would like to inform you that I have also talked to the presidents of the countries who endorsed me with a letter, and they fully understand what we are doing, and they wholeheartedly supported also what Prince Ali and myself are doing today. It's important for you to know that. I wholeheartedly support the Prince in his endeavor and ask from the member states that already promised me their support to vote for Mr. Ali Al-Hussein in the upcoming elections to truly accomplish football for everyone. I will have an active role the next week to convince those people who need to be convinced to vote for the Prince. And that concludes my statement for this moment. And I would like...
Michael, I'd like to give Prince Ali the opportunity to speak out his speech for this moment.
Thank you very much. Allow me to begin by saying what an extraordinary honor it is to be here today next to President Michael van Praag, a colleague I have long admired and a man who has my utmost respect and admiration. I am deeply honored by Mr. van Praag's endorsement of my candidacy and by the faith and trust that has been invested in me both by Mr. Michael van Praag and by members of the football and FIFA families across the world. His decision to withdraw from the FIFA presidential race has been taken in the name of the future of football and of FIFA. But his decision to stand and the ideas and values that he has brought to this race is immeasurable. He has run a positive campaign focused on the future of our sport, and he has brought to the table a number of excellent ideas for ways in which FIFA and football should be improved. Mr. van Praag and I share much common ground in our goals for FIFA. As President van Praag already mentioned to you, we worked together to incorporate some of his policy proposals into my manifesto so that these important ideas were not lost to FIFA. I will be sending a revised copy of our manifesto to all National Association presidents immediately after this press conference. The new pledges, some of which Michael already mentioned, are a pledge to increase annual FAP payments to national associations to $1 million per year, to be annually dispersed on January 1st every year. The funding means a huge amount to development for most parts of the world, but the timing is also important. The fact that it is an amount given in an institutional manner and not linked in a way to politics. Michael and I believe that this amount is a starting point, but we hope that it would be increased after review of the FIFA finances. And it would also be separate and distinct from the tailor-made development packages that are also promised to the FAs. We have also both agreed that it is imperative that there is a pledge to table a proposal for a formal term limit of a maximum of 2 4-year terms for FIFA presidents to be written into the FIFA statutes. A proposal to create a new President's Board to be comprised of the presidents of each FIFA confederation. A pledge to publish the Garcia report in full as soon as possible. A commitment to developing a program that combats discrimination in all its forms, predicated on education programs and leadership by example. A commitment to develop a global tournament standard to ensure the safe delivery of FIFA events, with workers' rights and fair working conditions safeguarded, as well as to ensure that an assessment on labor rights and other fundamental human rights is indeed in the future bidding procedures for World Cups. A commitment to extend the number of countries participating in the World Cup from 32 to 36 teams as soon as possible, with a view to further development-led expansion to be considered thereafter. I am committed to exploring all options to enable this expansion urgently, ideally in time for the 2018 World Cup. The proposal which I am committed to and which I will put to the FIFA Executive Committee for approval if elected is as follows. Increase in AFC World Cup slot allocation from 4.5 slots to 5.5 slots. Increase in CAF World Cup slot allocation from 5 slots to 6 slots. Increase in CONCACAF World Cup slot allocation from 3.5 slots to 4.5 slots. Increase in CONMEBOL World Cup slot allocation from 4.5 slots to 5 slots. Increase in OFC World Cup slot allocation from 0.5 slots to 1 slot. UEFA World Cup slot allocation of 13 slots plus 1 additional slot for the host country in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the brilliant ideas President Van Praag has shared with me, and they are pledges that I believe greatly strengthen the commitments that I had already made to member associations, and I'm grateful to him for sharing his ideas with me and offering a brighter future for the FIFA family. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank our colleague, Luis Figo. He has always been a very important part of the football family for many years. He is a star who has been an incredible inspiration to many both on and off the field. He has also made an incredible contribution to the debate we have all engaged in, and we are truly grateful to him. Once again, it's an honor to be here, and I thank you, President Van Praag. I look forward to the campaign with you and hopefully beyond in the future as well, and also for allowing me and having me here in your wonderful and beautiful country. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness. Dit is het moment dat jullie in de gelegenheid zijn om vragen te stellen. Ik stel wel voor dat de vragen die gericht zijn aan His Royal Highness, they will be put in English, please. Vlado, jij vroeg of je het eerste vragen mocht stellen aan mij.
Well, you see, those remarks, that is his opinion. So you should ask him that question. I mean,
do you think this is a fair competition?
At this moment, I have no reasons to believe that it is not a fair competition. So that is also the reason why I don't withdraw. That's the reason why I withdraw my candidacy and continue with Prince Ali in order to try to beat Mr. Blatter.
Your Royal Highness, Prince Ali, do you really think that you have a chance to beat Mr. Blatter?
I think that, as we've both seen across the world, there is a real desire for change and for progress. I cannot predict right now, but I think that if the football family follows their desires, if things are done in a correct way with no interference, then I truly believe that we have a great chance of making that change in FIFA.
No.
No.
Mr. Prince has it seems like that he has an unlimited budget. Mr. Figo had the support of the Portuguese government. Is it a frustration for you that you didn't have, Mr. Praag, enough money for the campaign?
No, yeah, that is not a frustration. I mean, there are already people in Holland who believe that the money that I got in my budget is already far too much. That is the Dutch disease, as I would like to call it. But yes, it is true. I heard that others had support from their government. I didn't. And if you ask me why, I should take the train to Den Haag and ask them.
Did you ask money?
Yeah, for money?
Yeah.
No.
How many countries did support you?
I'm not going to disclose that, and I tell you why. Not because I don't want to tell you, but I have to honor the fact that the presidents of those countries find it difficult to tell themselves to the public that they support me or the Prince of Figo. And given that fact, I'm not going to disclose names.
Mr. Prince Ali, do you have a secret last-minute card to beat Mr. Blatter?
I think that we like to work in an open and in a transparent way. That's all I have to say on that.
Dank u wel. Wie nog meer? Ik zag hier vooraan. A bit louder, please.
Sample inside world football. Did you talk to Mr. Platini before taking this decision? And secondly, do you expect UEFA to back Mr. Prince Ali?
No, I didn't talk to Mr. Platini privately, no. But we sat together last week Monday, all of us, Mr. Platini and the three of us. And then Mr. Platini, he told us that he would advise us that the three of us would sit together and figure this thing out. And that is what we did. And so he knew when he left last week Monday that I at least had the plan to join and to support the Prince.
And for Prince Ali, in this last going into the elections, what are your tactics, would you say in general, to convince those federations that may, as of yet, not have taken a decision?
Well, look, obviously we work directly with national associations to convince them of the manifesto and of what we're doing and of our vision for the future. And I think now the most important thing is that we have joined as a team, and together we are much stronger than one person alone. And I think that's the most important thing for the coming period.
Maarten Wijfels.
A question to both gentlemen. Will it be crucial that Europe votes as one next week? And do you think they will do?
You want me to start? Yeah, crucial. Yes, Europe is a big confederation, 54 votes. It was clear and that we need the support of President Platini to achieve that. And he clearly said last week that it was difficult for him to start working having three candidates, which I understand. Now, today we are left with one candidate. So I'm sure that he will start working. And then we will see. But you see, I'm not a prophet. I cannot predict how many countries will vote this or will vote that. But I'm sure that listening to what those European presidents told me, and I've spoken to every single one of them, they all said we should have one candidate, because then we are the strongest. Now, if you say that, and you are of the opinion that you have one, that you want to have one candidate, now you have one candidate, which means you've got to go for it. And Michel Platini will certainly do everything he can to achieve that, but I will do the same, because I know many of my colleagues. I know the ones that are hesitating. I know, and I also know the ones that are not hesitating. So I know exactly what I have to do the coming week.
Okay.
Yeah? Something to say about that?
Sure. No, I agree, and but this also applies, I think, the world over. And I think one thing that is very important to note is that at times there has been an attempt to sort of divide Europe from the rest of the world. And I think the symbol right now of seeing Michael van Praag supporting a candidate from outside of Europe shows that FIFA and that all of us want a real change worldwide. Thank you.
Boris Dietrich.
My name is Boris Dietrich. I work for Human Rights Watch and for the Sports and Rights Alliance. My question to you, Prince Ali, is about human rights and the Qatar Games in 2022. Will you personally see to it that Qatar will change its kafala system, this modern slavery sponsorship system, and that labor rights and human rights ahead of the games in Qatar will be respected?
For sure. If I am elected, I will definitely work on making sure that that happens and happens soon.
And then my second and last question. I heard Michael van Praag say that his policies related to discrimination on ethnic and sexual minority grounds, that you have taken them and put them in your manifesto. But when you read your statement, I heard you only say discrimination on all grounds. So maybe you can be a little bit more explicit.
Well, that covers all grounds, be it racial, be it sexual, be it religious, all grounds. There should be no discrimination in football whatsoever.
And I have seen the text in the new manifesto, and I can guarantee you that it's in it.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Oké, wie nog? Geen vragen meer? Oh, achterin.
Ja, meneer Van Praag, graag even in het Nederlands. U heeft iets minder dan 4 ton gekregen voor uw campagne. Is daar nog geld van over? Of is dat allemaal besteed inmiddels?
Daar is nog geld van over.
Is het niet zo achteraf dat u dan denkt van ja, als we eerder de armen ineen hadden geslagen, dan hadden we dit geld überhaupt niet nodig gehad? Is het niet gewoon een waste of money, die hele campagne achteraf?
Nou, helemaal niet, want we hebben heel duidelijk afgesproken met onze achterban, waar ik toestemming heb gevraagd voor deze campagne en die ze ook allemaal hebben gegeven op 4 na. We hebben heel duidelijk afgesproken op hun verzoek dat we in de campagne zogenaamde evaluatiemomenten zouden inbrengen. Nou, daar waren er inmiddels al 2 van verstreken en die hebben we ook besproken. En op dat moment waren we nog van mening dat het goed zou zijn om door te gaan. En ik heb ook altijd gezegd, het is goed dat we 3 kandidaten hebben. Want dan slaan we met z'n drieën gaten in de verdedigingswal van de heer Blatter. We hebben ook steeds gezegd dat er een moment zou komen dat de kandidaten bij elkaar zouden komen. Ik heb daar net wat over gezegd. Nu is het moment om te concluderen dat het niet gaat om wie de beste kandidaat is, maar dat het om gaat is wie heeft de meeste kans om deze strijd te winnen. Nou, dat is Prins Ali. Dus dit was het evaluatiemoment ook voor het bondsbestuur, wat maandag bijeen is gekomen, om met elkaar te besluiten dat het nu het beste is om te stoppen en achter de prins te gaan staan. Omdat daarmee de kans het groot is dat we ons doel bereiken. En we zijn deze hele affaire begonnen met als doel om Sepp Blatter van zijn troon te stoten. En zo op het moment dat ik hier zit, ben ik nog steeds van mening, of ben ik juist van mening dat het steunen van de prins de grootste kans heeft om dat te bewerkstelligen. Dus het is zeker geen weggegooid geld geweest. En we doen precies wat de achterban mij gevraagd heeft.
Ja, aan de andere kant, dus, toch nog even doorgaan, zou je ook kunnen concluderen, er is alleen maar meer verdeeldheid gezaaid. U heeft stemmen geprobeerd te ronselen, die wellicht ook gekregen. Die moeten nu dus vervolgens nog naar een andere kandidaat.
Ja.
Er is nog maar een week te gaan.
Ja, maar laat u dat maar aan mij over.
Maar dan had u toch beter van tevoren de handen ineen kunnen slaan?
Nee, want dat was nog te vroeg.
Wat is dan de winst van uw campagne geweest?
De winst van de campagne geweest is dat ik mensen heb gesproken die ik op andere gedachten heb weten te brengen. En die heel erg bereid zijn om die verandering in te gaan. Dat is ook precies de reden waarom ik me niet terugtrek en verder niks meer doe. Maar ik trek me wel terug en steun de prins. En daarmee kan ik bijna garanderen dat de stemmen die ik heb gekregen naar hem overgaan. Dus dat is de winst.
Oké, dankjewel. Eén laatste rij, ja, daar.
Ja, u had natuurlijk veel vertrouwen in uzelf. U zag uzelf als de beste kandidaat uiteraard. Voelt het ergens dan ook als een nederlaag dat u zich nu terugtrekt?
Nee, het voelt helemaal niet als een nederlaag. Het voelt juist als een groot gebaar dat ik mijn eigen persoon ten dienste stel van het grote doel. En dat ik niet mijn eigen ego nastreef of mijn eigen persoonlijkheid. En dat is ook precies de reacties die ik krijg van de voorzitters die ik dit allemaal heb verteld vandaag via de telefoon. En ook voorzitters die ik hier niet zal noemen, maar van landen die wel op mij zouden stemmen in Europa. En die staan hier allemaal achter en die waarderen dat en respecteren dat. Dus ik zie het zeker niet als een nederlaag. Het zou een nederlaag zijn geweest als ik ijzerheinig was doorgegaan met de wetenschap die ik nu heb en straks met 20 stemmen van de vloer zou zijn gekomen. Ja, dat zou heel dom zijn geweest. En daar zou ik het Nederlandse voetbal en de KNVB heel weinig dienst mee bewezen hebben. Nu neemt de KNVB mee dat in het manifesto van de prins precies de punten staan die wij heel erg belangrijk vinden. Die gaan mee in het programma. Als het in een manifesto staat, wordt het ook uitgevoerd. Dus als hij president wordt, wordt het ook uitgevoerd. Daar hebben we het net nog over gehad. En ja, hij heeft de beste kans op dit moment. Dus ik zou wel gek zijn als ik voor mezelf zou gaan en aan mezelf zou denken. Het gaat nu om de verandering.
En is dit ook een handig moment, zo 8 dagen voor de verkiezing, om dit nu allemaal naar buiten te brengen?
U kan van mij aannemen dat met iedereen die we dit besproken hebben, en dat is een zeer groot plateau van mensen, die vinden dit, een week voor de verkiezing, het allerbeste moment. En ik ook.
Dankjewel. Volgende vraag. Volgende rij ook. Ja.
Mr. van Praag, Mr. Ali, I think the plan was that Luis Figo would be here as well for this press conference. Why isn't he here?
Well, I can give you his telephone number and then you can ask him. I don't know. Ask him yourself.
Okay, I'll take the phone number after this press conference then.
Sorry?
I'll take the phone number after this press conference then.
Very good.
Second question, Mr. van Praag. You traveled all around the world. You went to all the conferences. What is the thing you learned about the world of international football?
Well, what I learned is that there's a big diversity. I learned that I talk about Holland, that we think sometimes too European, that other people in the world with a different culture have a different view on certain things that we find important, they don't find important at all, and things that they find not important, we find important. That is the first thing. Secondly, I know that I also learned that in some cases it is not so much about the program, which counts to get a vote, but more about the fact whether they know you or not. And I've met many people who said, well, if you are going for 2019, I guarantee you my vote, because I don't know you yet. So that is something I learned, and I learned much more, but I know that the Volkskrant only have limited space, so you will never be able to write that down altogether.
Last question for Mr. Ali. Could you tell us how many countries you visited prior to the election?
That's a good question. I don't know if I can answer for sure, no, but it's, I did try to visit as many as I possibly could. So it is over 50 countries, to be honest. So.
Thank you.
Dank je. Ik zag Tom, die had ook een vraag.
For Mr. van Praag, His Royal Highness has your full support. Does this mean you will be going to Zurich anyway next week?
Of course I will go to Zurich.
I hope so.
Of course. At first because I'm the president of the Dutch Football Federation, which means that I have to go anyway, because together with Bert van Oostveen, our general secretary, we represent the KNVB. But besides of that, I will most certainly do that, because you see, I have the feeling that I could be of help to the Prince in Europe. During dinner, he also said, "Yeah, I know a lot of European countries, but not everybody." So yes, I will go, and together with UEFA, I will look what is the best way to address my colleagues during the confederations meeting that we have in Zurich. And we are also going to determine which countries need some extra attention. Let's put it that way. So yes, I will go to Zurich.
A very short final question. Has either one of you
No.
That's a short answer as well. Nog een vraag? Of Valentijn?
Ik doe het in het Nederlands, want hij is alleen voor Michael. Jij zegt net, het is slecht om door te gaan ijzeren en dan met 20 stemmen van de vloer geveegd te worden. Is dat alles wat je in al die tijd hebt binnengehaald? 20 stemmen?
Sorry, is dat?
Alles wat je hebt binnengehaald de afgelopen weken, 20 stemmen?
Nee. Dit is maar gewoon een voorbeeld, Valentijn.
Dankjewel.
Volgende vraag. Ik zie er nog Edwin Schoon.
One question for the both of you. Good evening, by the way. Royal Highness, Mr. van Praag. You said something about sitting down last week with the three of you, and Mr. Platini was there as well, sitting down with you. Could you both elaborate a little bit about the role of Mr. Platini in this campaign of you, if you please?
If you want me to. I think that he's always played a very positive role in bringing us together and the ability to meet in one place. But having said that, the discussion was between us as three candidates. I think that it was imperative to come to the situation we are right now. And I think that's the most important thing in the service of football all over the world.
I agree.
Thank you very much.
Ik zie nog een van Boris. En dan is dat de laatste vraag. Ja, eerst Boris.
To the Prince, in Saudi Arabia, women are not allowed to watch soccer games. Women are not allowed to watch soccer games in Saudi Arabia. Are you going to see to it that will change and that football will be for everybody?
Sure, I'm a big proponent of women's football. I've done all I can to support them. We are hosting next year the Under-17 Women's World Cup, and I hope that will, in Jordan, and that will be an impetus to get more attention for our region and to convince people over in our region and elsewhere that they should support the health and well-being of women.
Laatste vraag.
Hello, Nicolas Delaunay from Agence France Presse. You said that we in Europe think some things are more important, whereas in other parts of the world they are not. I'm thinking about two important things in your program, which are human rights and corruption. So are you actually saying that in some parts of the world this is not important and not an issue, and this is one of the reasons you could not succeed in convincing people?
Well, you're coming with two examples which everybody finds important. So maybe you have another example, but human rights and corruption, that is something everybody I spoke to resents. They resent it. And one person a little bit more than the other, but I haven't been speaking to anybody who does not resent it, to be honest. But I'm talking more about different things. Now, yeah, for some countries, youth education is important. For other countries, it is less important. To give you one example, there are countries who are desperately in need of money, where other countries are less in need of money. I mean, more those kind of things.
Okay. To add on that, I mean, it's a matter of also whether it's about competition or if it's about development or just simple basic infrastructure. Yeah. And I think that we both agree also that after this experience, that we have to build case by case and really see to the needs of football development across the world. So
there is not one measure that fits everybody. That is also something I learned from my trip. By just giving everybody $100,000 doesn't always suit everybody in the right way. Some smaller countries or some countries which are in other difficult situations need more attention than, for instance, the KNVB or Germany.
Ik zag nog één vraag binnenkomen.
Mike Corder from Associated Press. Could you both tell me if either of you has come across anything in your campaigning that has felt like corruption, that money is being solicited, or anything else of that nature?
Nothing.
Prince Ali?
No.
Okay. Thank you for this moment. I thank you for your questions. I thank both gentlemen behind this table. For this moment, we close the press conference. There's a little opportunity to put some more questions in a one-on-one interview, 1-op-1 interview. Er zijn een paar mogelijkheden voor. Bied je aan en dan zijn beide heren daarvoor in de gelegenheid. Ik dank u wel. Tot zover.